Thanks for tuning in to the episode of The Aydin Show, sponsored by our friends at Casa Homes. Enjoy the show.
My name's Ahmet Tordic. I'm the host of The Aydin Show. The word Aydin means enlighten. That's exactly our goal. We're here to enlighten you, share knowledge and wisdom, and inspire our youth. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a pretty exciting episode today. We've got a few guests coming on. One that we have on the phone at the moment is our good friend Haydar Hussein, who's the founder of Jim's Cleaning Group. He's got more than 800 franchisees working for him. Let's get him on the phone and get this started.
Mate, how you going?
And I'm very good. Haydar, how are you?
Not too bad, mate. Just on this chilly Friday night. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Haydar, we've had a little bit of technical issues before. I do apologise to all our viewers as well as yourself. Facebook let us down tonight, so we're on YouTube.
Yes.
So something a little bit different, but I think it'll be the same thing, really. People can still stream it from through Facebook. Obviously, it'll be in YouTube, though.
Yeah.
Haydar, let's get into it.
Sure.
Look, you live currently at oh God, I've gone blank.
Gisborne South.
That's right. You live in Gisborne South. That's right. Look, what's it like up there?
Well, tonight it's pretty chilly, and I think over the weekend it's going to be cold as well. But, you know, it kind of suits the area where it's a farming area, nice and green and rolling meadows and hills. The cold suits that, I think. It's better than the summertime. It's all yellow.
Yeah. Look, when I used to work up there, I used to drive trucks a very long time ago. And whenever I used to drive up there, I used to have this issue where my ears would get blocked. And I thought I was having a heart attack at one stage. Like, it's just the air. There's something about the air up there, man. What is that?
Yes. What that is, we're on the start of the Great Dividing Range, which starts from here and goes through the snowy mountains all the way up to the Queensland coast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I don't know, kind of separates the countryside from the city side somehow. And the temperature is usually about 2 degrees difference in winter.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, even summer. Summer it's 2 degrees hotter, and winter it's 2 degrees colder.
Yeah.
So if you're cold in Melbourne now, we're 2 degrees colder here. So, but it's quite good. The air is much cleaner and crisper.
Yeah.
I really like it. And still we've been here for about 10 years, and still sometimes when I come home my ears still pop.
So you still got that issue. Okay. Good to know I wasn't the only one going through it.
No, it's very common.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all right. Look, I want to talk a little bit about Jim's Cleaning Group. You've been in it, I think, for a very long time. If you could just go back to how it all began and how you stumbled across it.
Sure.
Or how it stumbled across you.
I understand. Well, I left school at the end of year 11 to join a bank where my father was working, and I thought that was my career road because I was very impressed by my father's achievements and the respect that he was getting in the community. My father had his own office, he had his own parking spot, and I thought, that's what I want to be. I want to be just like that.
Yeah.
So I joined the bank. I was there for couple of years, and I quickly decided or realized that wasn't for me, and I had to look for something else because I had realized that managers in those days didn't have offices anymore.
Okay.
And everyone worked in an open plan environment, and for some reason I wanted my own office with a view and all that corny stuff.
Who doesn't?
True.
Yeah.
So I did a part-time job. I looked for a part-time job, and the easiest thing to do was to clean the bank that I was working at in the evenings.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and then before I knew it, I was cleaning about 4 branches. And then because I had a lot of contacts in the bank, I approached some of my customers, some builders and some pub owners, if they'd give me some extra work, cleaning work, which they did. I started employing people. And then I quickly realized that, my side hustle, I was earning more money there than I was earning in my day-to-day job.
How were you hiring people? Like, what were you getting? I think during those times, it was a little bit easier to get contracts, wasn't it? Like, it's very difficult, we know now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was pretty lucky. Yeah. There wasn't much paperwork or internet type stuff. It was just handshake agreements and things like that.
Yeah.
So contracts were easy to get, and employing people was easy too. There was no ABNs or GSTs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I had 4 or 5 employees at one stage, and things were looking really good. So I decided to leave the bank and pursue that full time. But again, I wasn't satisfied with just having a local cleaning business. I wanted to be national, and if I ever became national, that would definitely get me an office somewhere. I'd earn enough money to be able to do that, have my own office and have my own car park again.
Yeah.
So I went out looking for these national contracts, and that was hard because no one knew who I was, this little business in Melbourne. Who are you? How long have you been in business? What processes do you have?
Sorry, I missed it. I might have missed it. How old were you, Abner?
Well, I said I joined the bank, and I didn't. I was there for a while. I was actually there for about 10 years.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a while.
So if I joined when I was 17 or 18, I was probably about 28 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So looking for these national contracts, I couldn't do it. So I thought there's got to be another way, maybe like a TV commercial or some sort of radio campaign. There was no internet in those days.
Yeah.
And then I quickly realized that to do a TV campaign, you need millions of dollars. So, I had to find another way. And somehow I stumbled across the Gyms Group, who were already a national brand.
Yeah.
And I thought somehow if we could merge together and I can use their branding and my skills. So we discussed a few things, and after about a year or so, we decided to give it a go.
Okay.
And again, I didn't think it was going to be as big as what it is today. I thought maybe one day I might have 100 franchisees or so, and these days we're very close to 900.
Yeah. So with Gyms, was he looking for someone to kind of take a cleaning role in the company,
Yes.
or? Yeah.
Yes, they actually were. It was around the year 2001,
where
the Gyms Mowing brand had become, pretty powerful, and customers were actually ringing and asking for other services, even though he wasn't advertising for them. They were ringing up and asking for, fencing work or antenna work or cleaning work. So he put the message out there that if anyone wants to rebrand their existing business and follow his model, and obviously give him a cut. And
he's happy to do that. That's very smart, very intelligent thing to do, especially if you're getting these customers that are calling and asking about other stuff. To be able to put that into your current business is amazing.
Well, I think so too. So he had already tried to establish Gyms Cleaning for a couple of years, which was unsuccessful.
Okay.
So when I came in, obviously I had to kind of clean up that little bit of a mess.
Yeah.
So then because in those days, if you bought a cleaning business, you could actually do general cleaning, carpet cleaning, window cleaning, all with the same franchise.
Okay.
And what happens there, Ahmed, is you become a jack of all trades and a master of none. So what I did is I separated each division to be a standalone business.
Yeah.
And if you bought a cleaning franchise, that's all you could do was just general cleaning. Okay. And carpet guys just did carpets, and
So you've got different groups. You've got Gyms Cleaning Group, or is this all under the one type of banner, but separated with the way it operates, or?
Yeah, they're all definitely separate businesses with separate contracts and separate managers, separate advertising funds, separate manuals, separate insurances. Yeah, they're all definitely separate.
Yeah.
But coincidentally, I own them all.
Okay. I could just imagine you're 28 years old. You're coming up with all this, because I'm 35 and I've been running a business for not that long, but we're trying to strive towards the path of success. But being 28, you must have been very hungry for success. Was that what helped you? Find gyms and I don't think it would have been luck.
Well, it's a very good question. To be honest, I was just hungry for the office. Yes, in some ways that is a measure of success. But mate, I just wanted to be like my dad, my own office and my own chair. It was just as corny as that.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought, because in those days, let's say an average wage was, you know, $500-600 a week. I thought maybe one day if I could earn 1,000 a week, you know, how good would that be? It was just small stuff like that.
Definitely.
But I mean, you know, everyone obviously one day you want to earn $5,000 a week or something like that. I mean, I had little dreams like that, but the biggest dream was just to have an office. It was just as simple as that.
Yeah, definitely. I think, look, a lot of entrepreneurs now, you know, I think the same thing. They want to have their own business, be, you know, comfortable, and eventually have someone else running their businesses for them.
Yes. Or a secretary or systems, you know.
Exactly. Like at the moment, it's me and Levent that's running the show, and you know we're eventually thinking of getting that secretary and you know, growing our business. What can, I mean, look, with all that experience that you have, what can you tell us? Maybe some steps that we can take that could help us in the right direction. Maybe some mistakes you've done.
Sure. Yeah, I could try. I mean, obviously, when I was starting my business, I also sought some advice as well. And I had a very good friend of mine, John Ozturk. You probably know of him. He's got a big cleaning business as well.
Yeah.
So I sat down with him and sort of tried to learn from him. But one thing I did realize early on was whatever business you build it in a way that one day you could sell it. Okay. Right? So if you're going to sell your business, the buyer, he's going to want to see your processes. He's going to want to see your bank accounts. He wants to see your profit.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're dodging processes and dodging income or tax or whatever it might be, the value of your business is going to be low. Yeah. So if your objective is to sell it one day, you want to do things as properly and transparent as possible. So when that buyer looks at it, he'll be impressed and pay you top dollar for it.
Yeah.
Right. So that with that vision in mind, that's how I went into it. Do it for a couple of years and then sell it, you know, which I never did. I've been here for about 20 years now.
Wow.
And I've got no intention of selling it. But
you've also got a friend of mine, someone that I've known. I went to Upfield High, and you know, we kind of met there, and I've seen him around. Like I remember him hustling really hard, like most entrepreneurs do. At early on, I used to see him at Broady Shopping Centre trying to sign some new customers up on as franchisees for Jim's car detailing. His name's Mehmet Ali.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So look, I've seen him with your T-shirt. What does he do in the business? I mean, how do you guys know each other?
Okay. Well, Ali's. I'm married to Ali's sister, by the way.
Okay.
So I met Ali at a family barbecue, and I was very impressed with his energy and his enthusiasm to learn. You know, he seemed like a pretty switched-on guy.
Yeah.
So I said, "All right, Ali, come with me." So what I did is I sold him an area of my business. We have, I don't know if you know the franchising world, but you got franchisees and then you got master franchisers, right? Which is predominantly an area manager to look after franchisees within that area and grow the brand within the area that you own.
I used to work for Telechoice when I was much younger.
Did you?
So yeah, I was in sales. Awesome. I was very lucky to be in sales. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I tell a lot of young guys to get into it when they're in school, and that's exactly what I did. So I was with Telechoice, and they weren't as successful at the end of it. They weren't too successful with the way they operated their business. But I saw how state managers would come in, and you know, you'll have your national manager above that, so that'll kind of look after all the rest of that sort of stuff. So so is he like a state manager for you, or?
Well, initially he was just an area manager. I think it was pretty much Victoria for carpet cleaning, which I gave him a region, and I think there was less than 3 or 4 franchisees in it. I said, "Here you go, buy this off me," and I sold it to him. I didn't give it to him. Yeah. I sold that to him, and then mate, within 18 months, he built that up to 28 franchisees.
Wow!
Like he's pretty smart guy. Yeah. So what he did then, he approached me and said, "I want to do something more." So at that stage, I had the car cleaning rights for Australia, and we weren't doing too well. It was just, for me, it was just like a side business. My main focus was Jim's cleaning at the time, and I said, "Hey, all right, sell your carpet rights, and I'll sell you this. I'll show you a share of this car cleaning division. The division is the whole of Australia,
okay.
So it's a big responsibility."
Yeah.
So we did that, and then again things took off. He started building that, doing really well, and then I'm not sure, maybe 8-9 years ago, he approached me again, as switched on as he is, and he said, "Hey, I want to be your CEO." I said, "Is that right?" so we sat down and, we did some numbers here and there. And I said, "I'll give you a chance." And mate, he's been the best thing that I ever did. He's turned our business upside down, sideways. He's just made it so successful. Yes, I'm part of it, but a lot of the action comes from him.
Okay.
So he's a very special bloke. Yes.
Okay. So, okay. Wow. No, that's excellent. It's good to know friends and people in the community that, you grow up with are doing well for themselves, and also, helping others kind of create jobs and help them, with being able to operate their own businesses as well. I mean, I think that's what you guys do, yeah, by franchising these out. These people kind of have that luxury of being able to be their own boss.
Correct. 100%. So with Ali, we sat down and we thought, okay, how can we make this bigger? And then we realized that we need more area managers or more master franchisors. And I think at the moment we've probably got about 73 or 75 of them spread out across the country. 2 countries, actually. We're in New Zealand now as well.
Oh, no way. When did you guys get into New Zealand?
It's been maybe 2-3 years. And we've got about close to 50 franchisees there. Well, just some exciting news for you. About 3 days ago, we just closed the deal. We're just about to launch in Canada.
No way. That's excellent.
Wow. A couple of Turkish blokes, branching out to Canada.
One from my hood, Broadmeadows, definitely.
Well, I'm originally from Chinatown, so I'm not that far away.
The northern boys. Let's call it the northern boys. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, it's not a bad effort. It's definitely something to be proud of. That's for sure.
100%. Look, is it difficult for somebody to kind of do that, to kind of become like try to expand his business into franchising it? If let's say, for example, my business, it's running well, all the accounting and everything's up to date. We're doing a great job with it, but then we've decided, okay, we want other people to have an opportunity to be able to, service customers like we are, so that they can help grow our business. Is it something as easy as me just saying, okay, I'm going to franchise it, or is there a very big process involved?
Oh, there's definitely a big process involved, and I don't know the legalities of it, but in the past it was much easier to franchise your business.
Okay.
But these days there is a governing council, which is called the Franchise Council of Australia. They kind of govern and stop shonky franchises. So if you're going to do it in a shonky way, it's probably very, very hard. But if you follow the Franchise Council guidelines, it's very, very difficult. But if you get it right, you will succeed. And whoever joins your franchise, will get value for money because it's following a proven process.
Yeah.
And the proven process is, manuals, systems, projected earnings, past history that you can prove that it works, all that kind of stuff. So yes, if you follow that, you almost guaranteed to succeed.
You see, some of the problems that I think the franchisees that I grew up around. So there was, Orange that went to 3. There was Telechoice. There was, I think, Phone Zone for Telstra, Crazy John's, and a few other businesses like this. Be Clear and Simple. We remember that company as well. The problem was that the contracts that they had with these companies like Optus and Telstra, from my memory, from how I recall it, they pulled a pin on these guys. So when the contracts ended, they said, nah, no more. And they just, they went downhill. But I think with gyms, it's a different scenario because you're protected that that's not going to happen to you.
Well, I think so. We sort of play in the domestic space. We don't really go for much contracts. Probably contracts is probably only 20% of our business. The rest of it's just domestic work. Domestic's easy, reliable. There's so many different domestic people. Well, there's 25 million to be exact in Australia. Whereas when you got 3 contracts, I mean, if you lost 2 contracts, your whole business is gone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas in the domestic market, you can't go wrong as long as you do the right thing by the customers and you don't have a bad name. I mean,
service is always very important, isn't it?
Yes.
I think a
So
lot of
we've
people
sort
don't
of,
understand that about business. They think that it's as easy as just getting a license, a builder's license, or getting a franchise, and just
yes,
that's it. You'll be making money.
well,
But servicing sales is number
mm,
one. I reckon without sales, you're in a lot of trouble, and that kind of leads to customer service anyway. If you don't have that,
yeah,
those two things hand in hand, just forget it. Because we're in a
oh,
society now, especially with Google, where it's all about reviews. Don't you
of
think?
course. Oh shit, yeah. Uh, that's one of the biggest things that we look at within our business is the reviews. And I don't know if you checked our reviews. We're 4.9 out of 5 with 4,000 reviews.
Wow,
Like
that's huge.
it's
I haven't checked that, but that's massive.
like,
Yeah.
oh, it's you can't get better than that. Well, obviously 5% is better, but 4.9 is
I mean,
astronomical.
that's what attracts me to businesses.
Mm,
Like even
mm,
Uber, for example. I love the system they have. You can,
yes.
leave a feedback on a driver. Turkey's up I follow a lot of Turkish news, and Erdogan's kind of bringing that in because he kind of restricted Uber
Ah,
being there. He's bringing that into the taxis, and if the
good on him.
taxis kind of did that from the very beginning, kind of fell,
Mm,
had that review system, it's
yes.
yeah, it's not the same. Like I jump into some cabs, it's like a lucky dip. Sometimes you get a really good cab driver. Sometimes he looks like he's depressed, and
Yeah.
he can get away with it, but with
Yes.
Uber, you get to write, no, he did a really bad job or he did a great job. And it's the
Yeah, but how
same.
good is Uber? You can
Yeah,
actually review the customer, the client as well these days.
yeah, you get to do both.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, mate. These systems, yeah, they change the world, and you can't make a mistake because people find out.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Mm.
Yeah. Look,
So yeah, so we're pretty happy. 4.9 is pretty good.
okay, yeah, definitely, Abby, definitely. Look,
Yeah.
just a quick. How well do you know Jim?
Oh, very well.
Okay.
Um,
Obviously, you've been
uh,
working with him for 20 years. What sort of guy
well,
is he?
okay. Well, initially when I joined, he was a hard man, and he's still a very hard man.
Yeah.
He's not very social. So if you're going to ring him up, you just tell him what you want. He'll give you the answer. 4 seconds later, you hang up the phone. You know.
Yeah.
So for many years, when I did my yearly planning with Ali, and we do that every year in January, one of the things that would always stick by is how much can we stay away from Jim this year? Like the more we're not involved, the better it is for us,
Yeah.
because he was hard work, very demanding, um, you know, as these big entrepreneurs are, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, but these days he's actually changed. These days, being the last 3 or 4 years, we've got an unreal relationship. We pretty much ring each other every day. Like I was on the phone to him yesterday for probably an hour and a half, talking about personal stuff too.
Okay.
So he's changed, or he's embraced my intentions, and my intentions are always to serve the brand,
Yeah.
and that's very important to him. So yeah, well, we do pretty well these days. And in fact, I'm actually involved in his board as well, board of directors.
Yeah.
And I'm taking steps to who knows where it's going to lead, but Jim's not going to be there forever.
Mhm.
So I'm going to hopefully be able to guide the Jim's group into bigger and better directions as well.
God
And
willing.
that's another good achievement for a fellow Turk too.
Definitely. Would love for that to happen.
Yeah.
Look,
So I'm very proud
there's
of
one
that.
thing that I think Jim, when you say he's kind of changed the last 3 years, I could
Yes.
see that in him, like how you were talking about how he's a bit stern. And when he's out publicly talking about what's happening with the issues of this whole COVID and Dan Andrews,
Yes.
he
Yes.
wrote a few statements. I think he wrote the second one today. I might be
The
mistaken.
third.
The
That was
third
the
one?
third.
Wow, there you go.
Yes.
And he was
Yeah.
even saying that he's happy for the guys that are mowing grass to get out and work, and he's going to pay their
Yeah.
fines. So
Well, no, that was a bit misconstrued, because that
okay.
actually was an hour and a half interview with Channel 7.
Yeah.
And they edited it to be a 30-second interview.
Like they always do.
Yeah, it probably didn't sound like what his point was. And his point was the directive from the governing body of Victoria had written some rules of what they expected. And on those rules, or the guidelines, sole operators were allowed to work. Sole operators being, a lawnmower bloke or a cleaning person or whatever. But Dan Andrews, in his speech, he said sole operators can't work. So he went against what the governing board said.
Okay.
And instead of correcting himself and say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that was the decision that was made," he just stood strong and said, "No, I'm going against that. I've changed that." And Jim's saying, "Well, you're going against your advisors, you know." And then so Jim got legal advice and said, what do we go by? Dan Andrews' verbal comment or the documents that were written? And legally, you got to go by the documents written.
Yeah.
So that's why Jim had the confidence to say, we're going to still work because the paperwork says we can. And if there's any fines, I'll pay it. And it was misconstrued to say, you know, go against Dan Andrews, but it certainly wasn't.
Yeah. But it is obvious that he's not for what's happening in Victoria with the stage 4 restrictions. I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, it doesn't make sense. A sole operator cutting your grass at the front of your front lawn, how can you, you know, spread the disease by doing things like that?
Especially even if they can, I mean, the technology we have now, you know, you could PayPal or you could pay him through, you know, an account BSB or whatever. And problem solved. He's outdoors. He's meters and meters away from you with some fresh air, you know. It's definitely doesn't make sense.
Or how about single operator cleaners, right? And at the moment, our main job is to clean areas, which gets rid of disease, you know.
Sanitize places.
Fair income, you know, that just doesn't make sense. So we've had to, in Melbourne, we've had to suspend 300 franchisees, you know, which is hurting each and every one of them. You know, 300 people can't earn a living.
Yeah, that's going to be my next question. Like, you know, because you have so many franchisees operating under you know, what's some of the feedback you've been getting, and what's some of the news?
Some of them are struggling, you know, and to get government handouts and stuff, you have to be operational for at least 12 months so you can prove that your income's lower than last year. But if you've only been in business for a couple of months, you can't prove that.
That's true.
You know, and then we've got a lot of new Australians who really don't have the skills and stuff to be able to claim those funds and handouts and stuff. So there's a lot of people struggling.
Yeah.
So we've suspended all their fees, so there's no cost to them. We're still allowing them to do NDIS work or emergency work, and in some cases, builders work, without no fees to us at all. And we're still supporting them and, you know, ringing them on a regular basis and just trying to help everyone the best we can.
Yeah, that's very important. Definitely.
It's a very interesting time, let me tell you.
It is, especially for us as a state. We've never seen anything like this before, and a lot of places around the world haven't even heard of some of the strict restrictions that Victoria's gone through. That's hurting us all financially as well as you know, emotionally and.
It's shocking, and we're still getting calls from the public, you know, to come and clean my house, like old ladies who just can't clean, or people who are hurt. They got sore bodies, you know, or sore hands or back or whatever it might be. They can't clean. They're begging us, please come and help me. My house is a mess.
Wow.
Or my grass is so long it's becoming a hazard. People can trip over and fall, or, you know, but we can't. So
I mean, exactly. You're right. Like these pensioners, these old people, you know, people that have maybe had work cover or something.
Correct.
What's their house going to look like? I mean, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, they can't mow. They can't mow the lawn. They can't clean inside.
No.
You know, they can't do a lot of things. Wash their car or whatever. And
correct.
Yeah, it's contactless. You know, it's very silly, man. Very silly.
Simple science, mate. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. But hopefully, you know, we're planning on opening our phones about 1 or 2 weeks before, booking jobs ready to go. And I think it's on the 13th of September. It should open. Hopefully, you know, 300 people getting out there and getting back to work.
That's if the state of emergency. That's if, because Dan's he's been coming out and saying things that a lot of us are going to disagree with, especially with the fact that he might extend this state of emergency outside the 6-month period that it's legally, you know, supposed to run for. So hopefully he doesn't do the wrong thing by all the Victorians that voted him in, and you know, extend this mess. True, because I don't know how we're going to cope. 6 weeks is plenty. Anything after that, mate. Exactly, man. Exactly. Hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when this whole thing goes away and the borders are opened and, you know, the flights are back up and running?
Oh, very good question. I'm actually a dual citizen, and I spend close to half a year in Cyprus,
Yep.
and our Cypriot listeners would love that. So I've got a beachfront villa there, and I live there, and I just can't wait to get back. And at the moment, I'm looking at my hands. My tan is gone, and
It's summer there,
I've
isn't it?
probably had. Well, it certainly is. August is the hottest month. Average
Yeah.
degrees in mid-40s.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm freezing. I'm usually never here at winter time,
Yeah.
so I'm copying it from all directions.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be able to get out in that sun soon.
Well, hopefully all of us. I've got a lot of friends who want to go overseas. They've all had plans or tickets booked in. They've had to cancel. Yeah, everyone's copping it from everywhere.
Definitely. Haydar, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to, say we wish you guys and everyone at gyms that are struggling as much as we are the best in the future. Thank you coming on and enlightening all of us with some very important information.
Thank you, Ahmed. And credit to you, mate. You got a very good show there. Good on you. Good for the community. Well done.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Abi. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Guys, we've got a few more guests coming on. I think we need to go for a break after that. That was great. A lot of important information that came from Haydar. He's been in business for a very long time. He's got a lot of franchisees, so great to listen to. Let's put some music on and we'll be back.